Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Coach Danya, your financial literacy coach. Today we are going to be talking about 10 things you should do after you graduate college in order to set yourself up for success later in your adulthood. And if you are past your college days or you're later in your adulthood, you haven't implemented some of these, you can start today for the next few years to set yourself up for the remainder of your adulthood. If you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe below, leave a comment, and I will address it as well afterwards. All right, let's dig in. So, first thing I have on my list is pay off student loans. And for this, there are caveats that I will mention, and it depends on each person, right? It depends on the income you have versus how much your student loans are. If you're a doctor or a dentist or you pursued higher education that is now leaving you with a loan over $100,000, you may take a different approach. You might not put all your income towards paying off this loan. You may put in an investment property and have that property or investment pay off your loan for you in the coming years. We're not talking about that right now. Right now, we're talking about if you have 40 to 60,000, maybe even 75,000 of student loans, and you come out of college, maybe making $60,000 a year, and dedicating the first few years to paying off your student loans, and not waiting for government forgiveness, not waiting for some sort of forgiveness. Pay it off so that you can start your life. You're young. You have the ability to work overtime. Or to have a second job. This is the time to pay off those loans to get you ahead. Next, max out 401k to your employer match. So it depends on where you're at, but some employers will match up to 4% of your first 6% you contribute, which is still something. So that means that you should at least be contributing to your 401k that 6%. So you can get a maximum employer contribution. It's free money, and you set yourself up for success in the future. When you have a 401k, you want to make sure you allocate it so it's still growing and monitor it, but we'll have a different video on that as well. Next, set up an emergency fund. So what is an emergency fund? It is a fund where in case things don't go as planned. For example, you lose your job. You have health issues. If you own a home, something goes out in your home and you need to replace it. This fund is something you can pull from to make sure you have security. People like to say 3 to 6 months. I think 5,000 is solid, so that you can keep building elsewhere and investing elsewhere. But you definitely want to see what your monthly expenses are, and then you want to build a safety net, and then you want to put it in a different bank or in a different account, and you don't want to touch it. Keep that safety fund for your rainy day, and don't touch it. Okay, next is open a high yield savings. So after you're done making your safety fund, after you're done paying off your 401k, paying off your student loans, definitely open a high yield savings account. So any of the money you are saving, it's high yield. And what is high yield? If you look at your local credit union, you're probably getting not even pennies on the dollar. You are getting 0.03%. Versus if you look at one of the bigger banks, Chase or Capital One or our Marcus account, you can get over 4% or 3 to 4% of interest. And at least this keeps up with inflation. So your cash isn't sitting there losing value as you're saving for a big purchase. Next, open an investment account. So this you can do any Tuesday afternoon. You can reach out to Fidelity. You can reach out to Charles Schwab, or any third-party financial institution, Vanguard. If your 401k is with a specific holder, Vanguard or someone like that, you can open it there. and have multiple accounts there. Or if your company is affiliated with a specific brand, open it there. There might be certain benefits. And what should you do in this investment account? Index funds, maybe stocks you're interested in. If you get really good at trading, you can do that. So definitely start to invest, because the longer you invest, as they say, when you invest in the S&P 500, the 10-year average is an increase of about 8 to 11% over a 10-year average per year. Next, clean up your subscriptions and automate payments. So I have a video on how to automate your payments, and I'll link that down below. But clean up your subscriptions. Take a look at what you're paying for and what you still need. Do you really need all of those streaming services? Which ones do you actually use? Do you really need some of those things that you use in college? Your Canva subscription that you were using for your classes, or that thing that you bought one time that now keeps charging your credit cards. Look at your subscriptions and see if you really need them. And this will reduce your monthly costs, or it will at least get you aware of what you're paying for. Next is read at least 2 financial books per year or podcasts. So there is a statistic that after college, people do not read any books for the rest of their lives. Let's not be one of those statistics. And you can start off with 2 of the books that I recommended in my video, also linked below. If you like podcasts better or audiobooks, your local library does offer books with a free membership and audiobooks with a free membership. And podcasts, for the most part, are free as well. If you go to on your smartphone, you can access podcasts about financial literacy as well. So there are so many ways to consume this information, and I definitely recommend that you take the time to figure out what's best for you, and you just micro learn as the year goes on, because within 5 years you'll have read 10 financial literacy books, and that puts you ahead of the average person. Next, learn about basic taxes. You can get a book on this, you can listen to a podcast about this, or you can go to your friend who does taxes. You can hire an accountant just to give you the rundown. You can look on YouTube. There's many ways to learn about taxes, because you want to understand what information you need to how it works. I hear a lot of people in my practice, because I'm a CPA and I specialize in tax. A lot of people tell me that they don't want to make more money because they don't want to be in the next income bracket. They think that all their money will be, now taxed at 37%, and that's not true. That's not how our system works in the US. So it's important to learn so that you're not scared of making a higher income, or you feel empowered and you know exactly what's happening with your money and why you owe money to the government when it comes time to file your taxes, and why you withhold during the year too. Next, create a budget, monthly, weekly, yearly. So there are plenty of apps that help you track budgets, and you can link all your accounts and your credit cards. So 1, you can see what you're spending money on and the money that's coming in. 2, once you have that basic information, so starting point A, then we say, okay, what's recurring? What's monthly? These are my utilities, electric, internet, water. Those are monthly. What's weekly? Maybe my daily coffee. I get that weekly. I like to go out to dinner on Friday nights. Monthly is also gym membership. What's yearly? Well, my subscription to Microsoft Word. That's yearly. That's a yearly subscription. My credit card fee is a yearly subscription. And so you want to take into account all of these fees. Monthly is rent or mortgage. Take into account these expenses. Gas, car payments. Most expenses are monthly, but you need to know where you are starting from in order to create your budget. Last is make a 5-year plan. So make a 5-year plan for family, home, goals, etc. If you want to go back to school, make that plan. If you want to get married and start a family, make a plan. What do you need to do that? If you want to buy a home, what do you need to do that? So you might need to get knowledgeable on what you need to qualify to buy a home, how much money you need to save, what debt should you clear before you buy a home so that you're not overwhelmed, what can you afford, or with family planning, if you plan to have kids, okay, our kids can get expensive, so daycare and things like that. So just make a 5-year plan of where you want to be, and then you start working towards it. So this is my recommendation for the 10 things you should do when you get out of college, or right now if you haven't started on them, if you're past that. And again, there are nuances to each of these, and each one might not work for each individual. So take what resonates with you and where you are. If you'd like to work with a financial coach, I definitely recommend that to make a customized plan for you. And you can reach me down below for one-on-one coaching. You can also see my courses linked down below too, if you're more of a self-learner. So feel free to reach out, and if you enjoyed what you saw today, like and subscribe below. Send your questions my way and I'm happy to address them. Bye-bye.